Here we are in time for mat yoga. Just a reminder, in this class we do get on the floor. So if you're not sure that you can get up off the floor, please, please, please don't do this class. Let's pick a different class to do, okay? It's a little more advanced than a chair yoga would be. All right, in fact, I'm going to grab my chair, so just give me a moment so that I can show you a safe way to get down on the floor. I should have thought about this before, sorry about that. So here we are, mat yoga. Glad to have you. I am going to use the chair to show you how to get down safely onto the floor. For those of you that know that you're comfortable getting back up, that you don't have knee problems or things like that. So we're going to get to the floor right away today, but we will do some standing exercises as well. All right, so here's my safe way to get down on the floor. We're going to face the chair, take a big deep breath. Swan dive down, stick that bottom back, bring those hands right to your chair, and we're going to bring those knees right to the floor, and then we're going to put our hands on the floor. Now, for some of us, we have really bad knees, and we don't like how it feels to have our knees on the floor. So take a towel or a blanket and roll it, and I'm going to just demonstrate here. Just roll it, just that little edge. And I'm going to let my knees hang off that edge of that towel or that blanket so that I can have some support for my kneecap, because my kneecap's just hanging there now. There's no pressure on it, okay? So I didn't have my towel or my blanket today, but I demonstrated with my mat. You should use your blanket or your towel. Okay, so I'm going to push that chair away. I'll come back to that later. And I got my strap just in case you choose me that need it for later. So let's go ahead and take a look at where your hands are placed. Hands are right below your shoulders, fingers are open wide. Let's inhale with a curl for a cat pose right here. Good, and then exhale, sway your back and look up. Good, so I want you positioned, let's just keep doing cat and cow for a little bit. I want you positioned where you can easily see me without having to turn your head one way or the other too often, right? So I want you to protect that cervical spine. So inhale, lift. Exhale, let all that air out. Good, one more time, inhale. And exhale. All right, now let's push back into that child's pose right here. Feeling that nice stretch through those legs. Good, through that back. Now I want you to come forward, and we're going to go ahead and put our forearms on the floor right here, and your bottom is kind of stuck up in the air. And I want you to, from this position, I want you to push yourself back into almost a child's pose and feel how it stretches a little bit more in the upper part of that back. We're just kind of waking things up. We're also stretching maybe a little bit into that shoulder. Good. If you had a block, you could put your forehead on a block or a pillow or even a block. Good. Feel that stretch. Good. Now we're going to come forward. I want you to push up using your hands, and we're back up into that tabletop position right here. Good. All right. So let's work a little bit on balance, and I'm going to turn my mat maybe just a little bit, so I'm a little on an angle. All right. So we're going to reach one arm out, the other leg is going to tap back. We're still waking that back up a little bit, and bring it back down. So do the other side, working those core muscles, just warming everything up. And bring it down. Now let's lift it this time. Lift it. Waking everything up. And bring it down. And stretch it back. Good. If you have one more time in there, work those tummy muscles, warm everything up. So this class ends at 10:45 for those of you that have forgotten. So we go for 40 minutes and stretch it back. Kind of an odd time, but it works out with all the other classes. And then let's bring it down. Now let's bring those legs wide. And we're going to push it back, stretching one more time. Maybe bringing your head to the floor, maybe not. I'm talking right in your ear. Stretching it back, feeling that nice stretch. All right, now let's come forward, lift it up, bring those knees in. So when we were doing mat yoga a couple weeks ago, we've been working on those down dogs. So we're going to work on that right now. Curl those toes under, and I want you to push up through your toes, push through your hands, lift those bottoms. Good, and we're going to push back into that down dog pose right here. Good, and now relax your shoulders just a little bit. We're pushing into the heels, pushing yourself back. Ears are between your arms. Oh, nice stretch there. We're building strength in those wrists. So if this gets to be too much for you, go ahead and come back down to your knees. Good, and then let's everybody come back down to your knees. Let's do a little child's pose right here. Good, we're not going to stay here long. We're going to come back up. We're going to come back into that down dog just for a moment, and then we're going to stand up. So I'll show you how we're going to do this. So I want you to soften through your knees, take your hands, walk them back. Soften through your knees. Look at my knees. They're bending, bending, bending. Bending those knees. I'm walking back. I'm in a forward fold with my knees bent. Good. We're going to inhale and we're going to come up all the way to a standing position. Very good. Wow, right? Good job. All right. So we're going to get back down there, kind of in the same way. So let's start, and we'll work a little bit of some warrior poses. So let's take one foot and we're going to turn it to the side. The front foot is in line with the back instep or the back heel, you choose. And we're going to bend that knee and take a look. It should be over the second and third toe. We're standing up tall, reaching those arms out. Here we are in warrior two. Good. Nice, tall, proud warrior two. Look at your arms. They should be one right out of the other. So it should be a straight line, so not one down, one up. Good. Stretch it back just a little bit. Nice and tall. Holding, building strength there. Good. Let's take that front hand. We're going to put it on the thigh. I'm going to reach it over. Big stretch. Now I'm taking that back foot. I'm pushing it into the floor to really elongate through that spine. All right, inhale. I'm going to keep that front knee bent, and I'm going to reach it back this way. Good. All right, now let's take the back foot. We're going to pivot. We're going to be in that warrior one, and I'm going to take a step forward because I'm not stable where I was. So that step forward, bending that front knee, big bend. Maybe you need to have that step out. Bring those elbows down. Good. So here we are in warrior one in a cactus pose. Beautiful. Let's lift it up, big stretch. Let's come forward, reach it forward. We're building strength in that front leg. Good, we're stretching that back leg back. Ooh, really stretching it back. Reach it. Feel that stretch in that calf muscle and hold it. Maybe I'm going to lift a little bit, bring those shoulders down. Holding just that little extra, one more breath. Good, now straighten that front leg. We're going to lean forward. If you had a block, you could bring your hand to a block right here. Push those hips back. Good. Push those hips back. Now elongate through the spine. Ears and shoulders are in line with each other. Some of us can release and go down a little further. So you know who you are. You have your blocks maybe, right? Some of us can't do this. We need to stay elevated. So we need the block or we need the thigh. You choose where you go. Good. Push those hips back. And you're wondering, how am I going to get out of this, right? So push through your front foot, take a breath. It's just like healing and help us come up. Pivot, let's do the other side. So we started taking a look from our alignment, making sure we're in good alignment, taking that knee over the second and third toe. Inhale, lift. Good. Take a look. Are your arms like right in line with each other? I actually have one that likes to get lower, so I like to look. Tighten through your thighs. Pull it open. We're holding just that little bit. Taking a breath. Breathe. Good. Now let's take our hand over to the thigh. Inhale, reach push that foot back. Push that foot back. Feel that stretch. Really elongate here. Holding just a little longer today than normal. Now let's inhale, and we're going to lift, bring it up, pivot. Take that step in if you needed it. I did just a little bit. Bend the front knee, warrior one right here. Bring it to that cactus pose, nice and strong. Hold and breathe. Tummies are tight. I'm really pushing that heel, that back heel into the floor. Good, now inhale, lift, and reach it forward. Stretch it out, stretching that leg, stretch it back there. Feel that nice stretch. Breathe, we're holding, that front knee is bent. It doesn't have to be bent at 90 degrees to get benefit. And then let's inhale and lift it up. Good, bring it back and pivot it back to the front. Good. Oh, I forgot. Let's pivot back. I forgot the other stretch, didn't I? Ooh. All right, so here we go. So we're going to straighten the front leg. We're going to bend forward. Bringing our hands to our thighs, or we can bring the hands to a block or a pillow or a pillow. Some of us are flexible enough to come forward, pushing those hips back. Hands can be on the floor. So you choose where you go based on your flexibility in your body today. Because tomorrow it might be different, right? Good, push those hips back, elongate through that hip. Breathe, make sure you're breathing, go hold your breath. Good, now push through that foot, let's inhale, come all the way up. Now let's pivot it back, good. All right, and march it out. Take a big breath as we kick those feet forward. Good. All right. I'm going to bring my chair back into the mix for right now. Some of us may want it, and some of us may not. So I'm just going to bring it back so I can show you some options with it. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. A lot of you are flexible enough, you don't need it. Okay, so we're going to work a little bit on forward folds with a chair pose. So I'm going to stay standing sideways so you can get a better view of what I'm doing. So we're going to inhale, lift. Good. We're going to exhale and come to that chair pose, bending those knees, and we're sticking that bottom back. We're going to hold it. Remember today we've been holding things a little bit longer. We're going to hold it right here. Good. Bring those shoulders down. Ears are right in line. If you need to, a little bend forward, that might help with any back pain. Good, holding. Maybe you're starting to shake just a little bit. We're building strength in those legs. Good, where's the weight in your feet? The weight in your feet should be even, so you shouldn't feel like you're one side or the other, forward or back. It should be right in the middle. Both feet are pushing equally. Good, now, instead of coming up, I want you to bend forward, either putting your hands on the chair, hands on the thighs, or hands towards the floor. But I don't want you hanging in space, so I want you to be supported somewhere. On your shins, on a block, on the floor, wherever you need to be supported. Good, so that's what that chair is for. We can be supported on the chair. Good. Holding just that little bit longer today. Breathing, nice big deep breaths. Can you lengthen through the hip just a little bit, lifting those hips, straightening those knees? Ooh, right? Wow. All right, now bend those knees just a little bit. Rock your feet, or rock your weight backwards so we're evenly distributed, and we're going to inhale. We're going to come back to that chair pose right here. Bring those shoulders down. Keep everything in line. Good, and then let's come all the way up. How'd you do that? That's a lot of strength right there. Yoga's about a lot of strength, isn't it? All right. Let's do that whole series one more time, and then we're going to get down on the floor and do some floor stretches. All right, so let's inhale here. Exhale, swan dive down. We can come to the chair, right? We can come down to our shin. We can come to the floor. You know where we're going. This time, if your hands are towards the floor, I want you to grab your toes and pull them up. Stretch through your feet. Push your chest forward. So if you want to be doing that toe exercises and you can't get there, try bending your knees and see if then you can get there. And then slowly sneak those hips up nice and tall. Good. And you're wondering what happened to my chair pose. We just skipped it entirely, didn't we? That's okay. One more breath here, holding that a little bit longer. Oh, that toe stretch felt good today. Bring those feet down to the floor. Now bend your knees. Take a big deep breath. Inhale. Chair pose. Bring your arms up. Stick that bottom back. I was tucking my tail. I could feel it. Good. Ah. Bring your head in line. Don't look down. Build that strength in those legs. You should be pushing even with both feet, even in the front, even in the back. Good. And then inhale, come all the way up. Ooh, I felt that. All right, keep it out. Good job. All right, so let's come down to the floor and we're going to stay there this time. So inhale, lift. Exhale, swan dive down. You can grab the chair or you can come all the way to the floor. Hands on the floor, hands on the chair. One knee down and then the other. We're going to push that chair to the side, and then we're going to come and have a seat on our back side. Good. So have that seat on your back side, bring your legs to the front, sitting up nice and tall. Good. So we're going to take our hands, bringing your hands right next to your bottom, sitting up nice and tall. And all I want you to do, I don't want you to bring yourself off of the mat, but I do want you to extend your spine. So pushing through that hand, I want you to sit up nice and tall, flex your feet. Good. And it just should feel like I was trying to lift you up and straighten your spine, and you're pushing up to help me. Good. Lift your chest, ears and shoulders are in line, right with your hips. Good. Now see if you can keep that length and your feet are flexed, let go, but maintain the distance that you had in your spine. Maintain that upward push up towards the ceiling. Now reach for those toes, keep that spine nice and straight. Maybe you touch the toes, maybe you don't, that's okay. And when you can't go any further, let's go ahead and bend. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. All right, and then let's come all the way up. Let's take our feet, and we're going to open up our hips just a little bit here. So I want you to feel like you're coming forward and not backwards. Some of us tip backward because of the way our pelvis tilts. So one thing we can do is we can grab some skin and pull it out, and that's going to bring us forward. The other thing you can do is sit on your towel or your blanket, so that'll push you forward as well. But I don't want you sitting like this because that's so bad for your spine. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. Good. Bringing the shoulders and the ears and the hips all in line with each other. So maybe I have to sit back a little bit and push the hips forward. Good. So let's practice that. So everybody slouch. Ugh. Right? So what happened? Our hips went, our belly went back, hips kind of came forward, right shoulders came forward. So let's do better posture here. So push those hips forward, bring those shoulders back. Do you feel the difference in how tall that is, how good that feels for your spine, and how strong you feel, right? You feel strong when you do that. All right, so now we're going to come forward, bend your elbows, keeping that nice straight spine. Push your feet together just a little bit. And we're not in true butterfly here. We're a little bit forward, so the feet aren't so far back. So reaching with that chest, try to push that chest through. Maybe you're going to bring that chest to the floor, maybe not. Or maybe you're going to put your nose right between your heels. Or maybe not. I think it kind of pushed that. Holding just that little bit longer, breathing. Keep pushing that chest forward, don't slouch through the belly. Keep the hips forward, chest forward. Everything's in line, ears, shoulders, hips. All right, and then let's come up. All right, let's let that go. So bring those feet up just a little bit. Let's rock from side to side. Kind of stretching through that back, sorry. It's just who I am. I'm sorry, I've exercised quite a bit throughout the day. All right, very good. All right, let's do one twist here. So let's take our legs, stretch them out. And we can bring one foot over, and some of us can actually lean over and pull that other foot back. So you know who you are if you're one of those people that can do this. I'll show the modification, bringing it forward. If you bend that knee, it's harder on the knee. So we're sitting up nice and tall. Good. And I want you to turn towards that bent leg. So we're sitting up tall, bending towards the front leg, and we're holding it in, hug it in, and you should feel a nice stretch right through the derriere. That foot right there is elongated and it's flexed. The toes are pushing towards my face. Sit up tall, turn and twist with a look up. And a look down, holding it a little bit longer today. Breathing. Let's bring it back to the front. Bring those legs back up, give them a shake. Good, all right, and then let's do that other side. So we pick that leg up, bring it over. For some of us, we can tuck, right? We could tuck this right here. I'm not gonna do that for today. I'm gonna stay right here, sitting up tall. We're gonna turn towards that bent leg, giving it a hug, hugging it in, feeling that stretch through the hip. And then turning and looking away. Holding right here. Oh, don't forget to flex that foot, bring those toes towards your face. Let's bring it back to the center. Good. All right, very good. So let's go ahead and get ready. I'm going to turn back to this side of my mat. Let's have our strap handy. We might use it. I'm going to push my chair just a little bit so I'm not going to knock my chair. So let's start. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're just going to work our abdominal muscles just a little bit. And we're going to stretch through the spine just a little bit. So I want you up on your heels, toes are lifted, and we're just going to lean back right here. So lean back right here, almost like we're going into boat pose. You feel the muscles in the abs kind of tighten. Good. Holding right here, breathing. Good. Now let's come forward, and we're sitting up tall, and this time I want you to curl through the spine and then lift. Good. So we curl just a little bit, and then we inhale and we lift. It's almost as though we're doing a little cat and cow here. So the pelvis tilts and the pelvis pushes forward. If this doesn't feel good for your back, don't do it. Or try less and then see if that feels better. Good. All right, so come back. We're going to go right back where we started. So nice straight spine comes back. Spine stays straight. No curling through the spine this time, just strong spines. Holding, breathing, engaging those muscles. Maybe they're shaking a little bit, right? That's okay. All right, and then let's come up, bring those legs out wide, sitting up nice and tall. Arms go out to the calf muscle or the shin, and we're pulling ourselves through, tilting that hip forward one more time. So let's go ahead and come all the way to the floor, taking one arm down, and then the other. Good. Laying on that floor. Lift those knees, bring them into your chest. One of my favorite, safest forward folds that we can do is right here, laying with our knees into our chest. And It's a great way to start the morning when you wake up, is to go ahead and put those knees and hug right into your chest. Good. All right, now let's bring those feet to the floor. And so if you have restless legs, this is a great exercise for that. So I want you to take your right leg and we're going to let it fall open, slide it down and bring it up. So if you did mat Pilates with me, you would find that this is one of the beginning stretches. Good. Look for a mat Pilates video coming soon. I'm getting ready to do a mat Pilates video. I just need to find some time. So let's reverse that circle. Reverse that circle. So instead of going out first, now it goes down, out, and up. Down, out, and up. We're still trying to hold that pelvis in the neutral spine, so try to take some of the rocking out. And last one right there. Let's do the other side. So the leg falls out first, and then we bring it down and around. So it goes out, down, and around. I'm just making a circle, essentially, with that leg. I'm working through that hip. Out, down, and around. Good. And then let's reverse it. Go down, out, and around. Just working through those hips. Good. Last one. Good. All right. Now let's bring those legs back in for the hug. This time I want you to hug underneath the legs. Bring them out in a V. And we're going to pull forward and let that tailbone kind of curl up and in, feeling that stretch in the lower back. Good. Flex your feet. That'll deepen the stretch. And then I'm pulling forward with my arms as I'm kind of pushing into my back, letting that tailbone curl. And breathing. Now let's bring those feet in. Let's lift those feet to the sky. Oh, get a little cracky in your knees when you did that. I did. Flex your feet. Push your heels up the best that you can towards the sky. Good. Now let's point and flex those feet. So that alternating point and flex. Now, let's see, let's flex our feet. Can you pull them a little bit closer? Have you loosened them up just a little bit by just holding them up there? This is an inversion. So an inversion brings blood from the lower extremity into the middle part of the body, then eventually, the longer we hold it, up into our head. And supposedly that's going to help us be a little bit smarter. Let's hope that works, right? All right, let's point and flex again from this position. Then flex both feet. Can you pull forward? One more time. Wow, I feel it. Just that one more time. Good. Oh, I feel it. Maybe some of you needed your strap for this part, right? You could use that too if you needed to. And from this position, point and flex. And feel the difference. There's a lot of difference in when we were back further, isn't there? Yeah. Let's roll on this time. Roll up. Do you feel that roll? See, we're so close. You feel them right there in that shin. Roll the other way. Good. Now let's hug those knees in. Good. Now I want you to stretch out your left leg and bring your right arm up overhead. Heard somebody enter, but I don't know where they came from. There they went. So let's take our free arm and our free leg, and we're going to bring them together. It should be an opposite. And I want you to just pull that leg up towards your chest. And because it's an opposite, it's also pulling in towards your body just a little bit. Now elongate the opposite leg and arm, the ones that you're not holding. Feel that stretch through the spine. And then let's bring that in. Let's do the other side. So we elongate that leg. So I got that chair in the way. And then the arm comes up overhead, opposite arm. So it's my right arm, my left, or my right leg, excuse me, my left arm. And I'm going to take the free leg and arm and I'm going to pull that leg in and up. Just a little stretch into that hip, elongating through the arm and the leg that are free. And breathing, nice big deep breaths. And now let's elongate both arms and both legs for a big stretch here. Good. Now bring those arms back over, put those feet on the floor. We have a little bit of time left for a piriformis stretch. So let's go ahead and put that one, sorry, I had a little, some of those pinching there. So cross one leg over right here, and then we're going to bring the other leg, we're going to slide through the middle, slide through the outside, flexing both feet. We're going to pull in, try to anchor that elbow into the knee pit, if you will, and we're going to pull that leg in, getting that stretch into the piriformis. Breathing, nice big deep breaths here, holding just that little bit longer has been our theme for today, just that little bit longer. Breathing that nice big deep breath. Good, let's relax it. And I want you to keep your feet up off the floor though. So I want you to stay in this position, but lift that leg just that little bit. Bring your arms out in a T position. And we're going to take the foot that's on the top and I want you to roll and try to put it on the floor. Oh, I don't know if you can get there because of the mic. There we go. So now we rolled it over. The foot's on the floor. I don't want you to hang in space. So if one of your arms kept you from rolling, I want you to go ahead and free that arm up so that you can roll. Get that nice stretch. We're turning our chest towards the sky. Maybe even turning our head away from that leg, away from where it turned. And let's bring it in and up. Good. Now let's undo and hold those legs in just a little bit, maybe rock just a little, and we'll do the other side. So let's put the foot down on the floor. We'll get situated first. So the leg comes over, we flex the foot. For those of you that want the deeper stretch, we're going to slide through, pushing that knee away, flexing both feet, pushing those hips away just a little bit, holding here, feeling that nice stretch. Good, relaxing through those hip muscles. Feels good, doesn't it? All right. Now let's let those legs relax just a little bit. Arms out in that T position. Bringing the outside leg up just a little bit so we can roll, putting that foot on the floor. Good. And then maybe we can turn our chest away. Maybe we can't. Maybe we're hanging out in space and I don't want that. I want you to be anchored here on the floor. So let yourself roll the whole way. Holding just that little bit longer, feeling the stretch. Try to relax through your belly, relax through your hips. Enjoy that stretch. Let's roll it back up. Good. Bringing those legs out one last time for a big stretch. And getting ready for Shavasana, however that's going to look for you. Maybe you're bringing your feet to the floor with the knees together. However that's going to look for you that you're comfortable. I just don't want any muscle in place or engaged. Relaxing, breathing, nice big deep breaths. All the way to the belly. Taking this last couple of minutes to just relax. Very slowly bring your focus back into this room and this time and place. And let's go ahead and bring one foot to the floor and then the other. Rolling over to that least encumbered side, push yourself up into that seated style of your choosing. Good, let's take that big deep breath, inhale, and let it go. Good, inhale, and let it go, hands come to prayer. Good, thank you so much for joining me with yoga today. I hope that you'll feel stretched and energized and ready for a fabulous day. Namaste.